please, if you all could keep in mind, I'm not a life coach, not a psychiatrist, not a therapist. I'm just your bartender, and these are just my opinions. So that's my disclaimer. So throughout all of the bad experiences that I've had, I've really learned what you should watch out for in terms of people who are not loyal to you. So we have two groups of people that we're going to go over. I know that this can kind of tie in with the threatened episode in one way or another, and just how you can look for red flags in both of these areas. But unlike the first episode, I'm not going to include the category of coworkers in this, because I don't think personally that you can apply the category of coworkers to anything having to do with any type of loyalty. And that is mainly due to the fact that the workplace has to do with money. So anything to do with money, I think, just like with the threatened episode, there's money, there's ego there, and when all that stuff mixes, there's not a whole lot of loyalty involved there. So the two categories I'm going to end up going over today are lovers and friends. So with your lovers, your boyfriends and your wives and your husbands and everybody that has your heart, there can be a lot of different outside factors to where loyalty can come into play. Your friends, his or her friends, his or her family, your family. There's a lot of external factors that can come into play, and a lot of different types of drama that can come into play into your relationship and kind of make you question your partner's loyalty to you. So with all of those external factors, you always have to make sure to take your quote-unquote threatened glasses off so that you can see the situation clearly, and so that you're just not like letting your jealousy, your insecurities take over and things like that. If the situation is abusive in any way, shape, or form, like his friends or her friends are mean to you, his family or her family is mean to you, you really need to bring that up to your partner and express that that's not okay, and you got to really pay attention to what their response is to that, because they need to have your back 100%. Even if it is their family, you cannot let things slide when it comes to people misusing your help, abusing your good person. You just can't let things slide like that, and your partner needs to have your back in that. They need to understand that that includes their family and their friends. So once you discuss it with your partner, you're going to want to watch out for phrases that are like, I'm just trying to make everyone happy, because some partners are big appeasers. They're people pleasers. They don't like conflict and things like that. But they have to realize that you're a primary part of their life. If this is a committed relationship that we're talking about, then you are a part of their life, and a very heavy part of their life. And it's kind of part of each of your jobs to make sure that neither one of you are being abused by any external factor that may be interacting with your relationship. You don't want to put up with abuse, of yourself or of your partner. So if this is your family, and they're not being great to your partner for whatever reason, because there's all kinds of different reasons. There's just human animalistic reasons. And see, this does not mean like if your mother-in-law does not like you, ladies, if your mother-in-law does not like you, that's kind of a normal like human behavior thing. It's I don't know. I can't figure it out personally, because I cannot ever see myself having the kind of relationship with my son where I'm that weird about who he's with. You know, that's who he's with. That's a completely separate relationship. But that is a pretty normal thing that a lot of people go through, like the whole father-in-law with the son-in-law and the mother-in-law with the daughter-in-law type thing. So if it's just typical things like that, then that's fine. But if your father or mother-in-law is just really having at it, like doing manipulative and backhanded things that are really hurtful to you and your relationship with your partner, then something needs to be discussed about that. That is important. And if they're replying, if your partner is replying to your concerns with, you know, phrases like, you need to get thicker skin, or, you know, like I said, they're just trying to make everybody happy, those are red flags to me. If the situation is serious and if someone is really hurting you in one way or another and it's consistent, like I'm not talking about like an isolated incident with his or her friends or his or her family where someone was rude one time, then yeah, you need to get thicker skin. But if this is like an every single time you guys all interact occurrence, then something needs to be discussed and it needs to be resolved. And I really, really would not suggest staying with someone who puts your best interests on the back burner, even if it's that person's family, because if they see you in their lives long term, then they need to learn that your best interest and your happiness is a priority. So, and no, I'm not saying that you should depend on your partner to fill your cup of happiness, because you should be happy within yourself as well. But you shouldn't have to put up with like bullshit all the time from all these external factors. And if they aren't doing anything about it to help you, and they're not standing by your side through it, then they gotta go. If the situation involves children, if you guys have children together, that gets really complicated. And I'll go into those types of things in divorce in another video. But some people are raised in environments that are filled with manipulation and abuse and narcissism and things like that. And because of that, their mindset and their way of thinking is pretty warped, and they can be reached. You can get to them and you can get through to them. And I really, really urge people who are married with children or together with children, and there are any kind of children involved in between you guys, I really advise you guys to try as hard as you can, try counseling, try something to be able to get through to your partner to say like, hey, these external factors are really bad and we need to have loyalty to one another and we need to try to solidify our bonds a little bit better. Because when there are kids involved, you really want to push for the extra mile. If there aren't kids involved and you've tried with this person and you know they've been raised in just a really narcissistic, manipulative environment, I would just tell you to walk away while you can, because at the current time you don't have children with them, so you don't really have any responsibility, and there's no, you know, little ones and dependents that rely on you for their happiness and their stability. So because there's no kids, I mean, I would run. I would get the hell out of there. If somebody's not on your side, kick them to the curb and be done with it. Before we get right into the friends and the friends' loyalty and things like that, I do want to interject in between there. And since we were talking about how children are involved and things like that, it's really important for you to have loyalty to your family as well as your lover, your partner. It is very important. I know that some people have broken bonds and broken ties with certain relatives, and maybe you don't speak to a parent or something like that, and there are some circumstances where that can't be helped, and there are some circumstances where it's very dire and everything. Maybe the person has a substance abuse problem, maybe they're just extremely abusive and you don't want to put yourself in that environment anymore. But I very much suggest to you to maintain the idea of loyalty to your family, because the psychological ramifications of you not having some kind of loyalty to your family are bad, in my opinion. I think that everybody should make peace as much as they can, and if they can't because it puts them in a bad environment and an abusive environment, then they need to make peace in their own mind. You need to make peace in your own mind with your own psychology, and just know that that person is your parent, your sister, your grandpa, your aunt, whoever it is, and that they are there, and that they are family, and your heart is loyal to that. Maybe not the person that they've become, maybe not their problems, maybe not their demons, but your heart is loyal to your family, because it's really, really damaging to a person's psyche not to get those things resolved. And you can end up going down a very self-destructive path if you don't resolve those things in a timely fashion, especially if you don't resolve them by the end of adolescence. There is a lot of ramifications for that. There's a lot of consequences for that when you don't resolve all of your issues. And I'm sure that, you know, you all have heard jokes about girls with daddy issues and etc., etc. It is very true. It's very true. And I mean, you could have somebody in your family, your aunt, your uncle, who was just a huge staple in your life, and they just fell off your heart, and that just damaged you, and there's no way to get them back. I don't care who it is, your cousin, I don't care who it is. Make peace with it in your mind and in your heart that you are loyal to your family. Maybe not what they became, but you need to make peace with it within yourself, because that is the healthy thing to do. Okay, here we go. You got to remember with this one as well to take off those threatened glasses. Here we go. Friendship loyalty. Okay, so this kind of loyalty can actually intervene in your romantic relationships quite often as well. But you have to know that there is an area that you shouldn't cross boundaries in. You know, your friends are always going to give you input about your romantic endeavors. You're always going to give them your input about their romantic endeavors. But if there's something going on, if there's like a lover's quarrel or something like that, don't really put your opinion in it too much. It could end up biting you back in the ass in the end. And I would say interfere as little as possible unless the situation is abusive in some way. Honestly, interfere with your friends' love lives as little as possible unless there is abuse involved. That's my advice on that point. Let's move on just from the friend to friend basis on that kind of a loyalty. A big key thing when it comes to your friendships and your loyalty to your friends is to always keep in mind that your friends don't have to not be friends with people that you don't like. So that's a big thing. You have to remember that at all times. Like, they don't have to not like someone just because you don't like that person. Every single individual has different experiences with different individuals. You could have a bad experience with someone and your friend could have a great experience with someone. So it's just not an adult perception to have to go up to a friend and be like, hey, you know what? That girl was a bitch to me in Walmart yesterday, so could you not like buy her a beer because I don't like her? You know, that's stupid. Like, don't do that. Don't be petty. Just understand that everybody has different experiences and that your friend's your friend. So you're lucky you have a friend. That's a great thing to have. Now, that being said about, you know, allowing your friends to go and have whatever experiences that they deem necessary to be fulfilling. So if they want to go be friends with Becky, they can go be friends with Becky. Like, you cannot like Becky, but they can have a good time with Becky. That's okay. What is not okay is when your friend allows someone that you don't get along with to talk a bunch of S. Okay? So if they're bearing witness to this person just shit talking beyond belief about you, that's a no-no. Like somebody comes up to you and says, hey man, your best friend was like chilling out with Becky over there and she was chiming in with some S-talking. Well, that would be a fake friend. And I'm sorry to let you know that. Don't make excuses for fake friends, okay? It's not cool. So you can be friends with somebody your friend doesn't like too, but remember to have that loyalty. So if something bad or negative comes up about your friend, have some balls, be a good person, and just remember to speak up. And you can say something as simple as, I don't have that experience with that person, you know, and that will just shut it down. And you'll watch that person backpedal really fast, like from a bunch of shit talking to getting really quiet and being like, oh, well, you know, yeah, I didn't know that. And they'll just backpedal really, really fast. All you have to do is have loyalty and have some freaking balls. Like have some balls to stick up for your friends and you'll be good. So things that you should watch out for with friends of any kind is phrases. Okay, again, this is about loyalty. So if your friend is in that situation where they are hanging out with somebody who you don't get along with and you've heard something about it or whatever, and you say, oh yeah, I heard Becky was, you know, at the bar, or I heard Becky was at Walmart or whatever. Watch for these phrases, okay? You're acting childish, okay? Quote unquote, you're acting childish. We're not even that close, okay? I don't take sides, okay? And also extreme defensiveness when you bring the person up, okay? That's not good. Like very quick defensiveness, that pretty much means that your friend has not been loyal. Like something's been said, some S-talking has been said, and I'm really sorry to let everybody know this, but it's true. And if you ever hear somebody say, I don't take sides, guess what? They already have. I'm really, really sorry, but they already have. So whenever you hear that phrase uttered from a girl, they probably took the other person's side. It's really shitty. I know it's really shitty, but it's the truth. So anyway, again, in regards to loyalty and your friends, let them do their thing. You do not control your friends. Your friends can be friends with whoever they want. But if they're your real friends and they have a good, healthy loyalty to your friendship, they're not going to allow someone to mistreat you. And you shouldn't allow anyone to mistreat your friends. Both parties should always have the balls to stand up for one another. And that's very, very important. So, always keep in mind that a friend is hard to come by. And for any younger viewers that are watching this, I feel really bad for you guys because it's a long road ahead of you. And once you are an adult, you'll figure out that you wind up having like maybe 1 or 2 friends that are really good friends. And that's it, because everybody else is a piece of shit. And it's really sad because then you grow up and you all have like your responsibilities and you have your babies, which are wonderful, and babies are wonderful and kids are wonderful, and I myself love being a mom. But it's fun sometimes when your kids grow a little bit and you have some more free time to be able to call up a friend and just go out and do something. And when you don't have any friends to call, it's kind of shitty. But you do end up having just like 1 or 2 and that's it. And the process of figuring all of this out is really painful. It sucks. And maybe in the future I will share some story times about that. But ever since I was a tiny little girl, I have had the most problems with loyalty, with lovers, with friends. I've had the worst issues with loyalty with people. I mean, I think I've been shit talked behind my back so much I can't count. Probably thousands of times. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. But with your friends, let them be them, you know, don't put a leash on them or they're gonna run. And you know, it's okay for you both to be individuals and for you both to have experiences with different people. But always remember, if they get really defensive about it, or if they say any of those phrases, especially I don't take sides, you gotta get out of there, girl. I'm sorry. Or boy, I apologize. So, I didn't mean to have this like geared towards the female gender. There just seems to be a lot more drama in that area. I know there is a lot of drama with guys too, and this is for them too, but guys have a lot better of a time with loyalty that I've noticed. I've been friends with a lot of guys and a lot of girls, and guys seem to be a lot better with it than girls, sadly. But anyway, so, pardon me, I have the burps. That closes up everything for today. That was just kind of my take on loyalty with your lovers and with your friends, and what to watch out for and how to react, what to do, just in my personal opinion. If anybody does want story times on that, click the like button and I'll get back to you. In all reality, those types of things will probably be a few months down the road in my videos, if at all, because there's a lot of other topics that I'd like to cover first, just generalized topics like these ones. But it was nice to see everybody again. If you have any stories about people not being loyal to you that you want to share down below, please do. I would love to read them. I don't have that much of a social life, as you can see. It is mainly me and my kids and my current boyfriend. So, yep, that's about all I have. And I guess I will talk to you guys next time. Have a good night.